All right, all right. Welcome back. Episode number 3 of the Uncooped podcast. Thank you guys so much for all the support so far. Sorry we missed you guys last week with the holidays and everything, Easter. We did not make it, but this week we're back better than ever, and we got an amazing guest tonight. So little updates on the farm this week. We got a lot of chicks hatching. We got full swing. Incubators are loaded. Hatching eggs are popping out everywhere. This is my favorite time of the year. I'm just so excited. New life everywhere. And all the snow is finally melted. I'm so happy with that. So let's welcome our guest tonight. We got Dana from the Wannabeafarmer. And here we go. Welcome, welcome. What's up, Dana? How are we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. It's so great to finally get in touch with you. We've kind of connected through TikTok. And we had some great conversations back on comments, and we finally messaged. I'm like, I really want to get her on the podcast. This would be so fun to have a conversation with her. So here we are.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so the people that don't know you, give us a little rundown. Give us the elevator pitch.
Okay, well, I have a wannabe farm. I'm not a farmer at all. Nothing gets eaten here. Nothing produces any money at all. So I am just kind of an animal hoarder. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So I've kind of started to grow my TikTok a little bit off of my rooster chasing my husband. And it just kind of went from there. So yeah.
That's so awesome. How long have you been raising animals then?
Not long. So it started about 6 years ago when we moved here. This was the first time that we actually had a yard. So I had told my husband, he travels for work. So he is gone on a lot of the weekends, which leaves me to think, and what am I going to get into this weekend? So I had always said I wanted chickens. I've been obsessed with chickens my whole life. I don't know why. I just love them. So they're just funny little creatures. So he went away one weekend and I said, I'm getting 3 Sokies. And he was like, no, you're not. Like, no, you can't get chickens. And I was like, we have a yard now. I'm getting chickens. So I made a plan to get these 3 Sokies, and I went to go meet the girl, and I got them, and I didn't know anything. So I kept them in the house in my bathtub, and one of them ended up passing away. Her name was Eleanor. We had Nugget, Eleanor, and Dot, and Eleanor ended up passing away. And so I emailed the girl, and she was like, I'll give you 2 more. So 3 turned into 4, like within a day. So my husband's still out of town at this point. And then little Nugget, who is my rooster now, he like was super lethargic. So I isolated him and I played baby Mozart, and we just like tried to go from there. And I was like, I'm gonna make you live. You're gonna be fine. So long story short, that was going on the inside. And then on the outside of the house, I'm like, I need a coop. I need all this stuff. I don't have it yet, even though they're not. For some reason in my mind, like I thought I was just going to put them outside and they'd be fine, newbie. Yeah. So I got 10 tons of sand delivered, which I only needed 2. Then I had my sister's kids' playhouse delivered. And I was like, okay, this is fine. I'll get the playhouse delivered. I'll spread the sand, and my sister and I will build the fence around it. No roof, nothing. Like, didn't think of like sky predators. So he gets home, my husband gets home, and I have all this sand. I have the tractor stuck in the sand, and it's just kind of spiraled downhill from there. So anytime I say, oh no, I'll do it myself, he knows it's not going to work. I'm not going to do it myself. I can try, but you're just going to have to fix it. So my 4 little Silkies on day 2 have now turned into I think there's 85 chickens at my house now.
Oh my gosh. That is real definition of chicken math, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like within 6 years, just let's be honest, in the past week, it's doubled. Like it was 40 or 50 and now it's over 80. So thank you, Meyer.
Right. Yes, definitely. Yeah. So, forgive me, but where do you live? I don't remember where you live.
We live in Northeast Ohio, so just like right outside of Akron.
Okay. So more like in the central area.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's
Yes.
really cool. Yeah. So you started with the 4 and Nugget was from the beginning.
Yeah. So Nugget and Dot. Dot is she's my OG, her and Nugget. But Dot is the one that comes up and just pecks my feet. Like she wants to be held constantly. And then you have seen Nugget. He just attacks everybody. And he has no spurs though. So like he's really just a cotton ball. Like he's totally harmless. But
Yeah.
I
For
love him.
everyone that doesn't know, you had a video that went pretty viral. It was like what 3.4 million, and it was Nugget the rooster, and he was chasing your husband, right?
Yes. And it was
Yes.
funny because I posted that video like a year prior to that and it got like 3 likes. And I'm like, this is so funny. Like,
Right?
why? This is so funny. So I posted it again and it just completely took off. And
Wow.
everybody just loves Nugget. So that's another reason I'm glad it's getting warm out because we can get Nugget chasing some people now.
Right. Yeah, I remember you were posted a lot of different funny videos, and you have some good content. I really love all your videos.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel like
Yeah.
you kind of started it all with the little frizzles. I liked your videos and I was like, what's a duet? I'm going to try to duet that. So
Yeah.
that's how we met.
Actually, I remember that. Yeah, we met through that. That's cool.
Yes.
That's the power of social media. It's really great. I've met so many cool people and built a cool community behind this.
Yeah, for sure. TikTok is like, I'm a high school teacher, so I always rag on the kids. I'm like, oh, you can't put your phone down. You're like, you don't need social media. But TikTok is almost like, I don't know. I enjoy it almost for like a learning purpose too. Like there's so much that just people just put out there that I never knew. So it's kind of cool to learn all of that.
Yeah. There's so many great content creators out there making really educational stuff. And, sometimes in the media, it does portray like a bad light, but I think once you're on it and you actually see there's a really great community behind everyone. And if anyone has any problems, we all learn from each other and call each other out for anything that we need help with. It's really fun.
Yeah. And don't put your rooster upside down. We've all learned. No.
Yeah, I don't like
No.
There's always going to be the downfalls with social media and a lot of the drama, but I always try to stay on the positive side, and I can definitely see that from you as well.
Yes, I try to stay positive, stay out of it.
Yeah, and I do think that you probably got one of the prettiest coops like around. It's just gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I really liked the old coop, but obviously it wasn't fitting all of the chickens in there. So I was looking at sheds actually to make a coop or convert one. And they were like, $8,000 for like a decent sized shed. And I'm like, there has got to be a different way. And that was like kind of during COVID. So wood prices were high. And I'm like, why don't we just do a metal one? Because I had got my barn built the year before that's just metal. Like there's no insides or anything. So I contacted the company and I was like designing everything on their website, and it was called a utility carport. And then we just kind of built it from there into what it is now. So I'm super happy with it though. Yeah. I love it.
It's like, it seems so peaceful in there. Like,
yes, it
hang
is.
out there forever and just be so relaxed.
I know. I like my little swing. Everybody's like, don't the chickens poop on the swing? And I'm like, my chickens trip over garden hoses. Like they're not getting on the swing.
No.
Yeah.
It's so weird with silkies compared to other breeds that, my other breeds, I have a free range crew that kind of, they sleep in the rafters, and my silkies just sleep on the ground in little cuddle puddles. It's just so cute.
I know. I have the 2 separate ones. I have the silkies and the pretty coop. I can plant things in there. Like they're not destructive at all. But then like the free range chickens, I'm like, you guys are like, you're like the yard gang. You dig things up and you ruin things, but I love them all.
Yeah. So you got silkies, and then you do have a free range kind of like egg layer group as well.
Yeah. So we have about 25 silkies in that coop, and then there's 2 Polish, and I have an Imsamani in there too. She was raised by one of my frizzle silkies, and she doesn't know, so she just stays in the silky coop too. But And then I think there's maybe about 30 of the free range chickens. And then the 35 I have in my basement that are not ready to go out yet.
Yeah.
So
What
yes.
are those baby chicks? Like, what kind are they?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of different kinds. I think I just get obsessed with having like multiple breeds and not really what their purpose is. So there's at least 20 different breeds down there. I got my order of 24 and then I got a bunch out of the bin too. So I don't know what those ones are, but
Nice. That's
we'll
awesome.
find out.
Probably they're pullets too, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't go too wrong with that.
No, I hope not.
Especially like the egg kind of craze is really crazy right now. Well, it's calmed down a lot, but lately, before it was going nuts and my eggs were flying off the shelf. I do sell my eggs and to cover the feed and all that stuff. So it was really fun. And I'm like, I need more chickens. I need more.
I know. And I don't sell my eggs and I always feel like I should. I just have people give me cartons and then I'll refill them.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's like, you should sell them because you're feeding them. You're taking care of them. And I'm like, I know, but I just love making them pretty in the carton.
I know. And it's so rewarding to like have your animals be able to provide food for like you and your friends. It's just one of my favorite things about chickens for sure.
Yes. Yeah. I love going out to find eggs. Yeah.
And like, I find myself giving people like random dozens like all the time, just like as a tip or like friendly gesture. It's so, and to see their like face, it's always rewarding to me.
Yeah. They're so appreciative of it.
Mm-hmm. Especially when you get like blues and olives or Marron eggs or whatever.
I'm hoping that I have some blues and some greens in this next batch because I only have like browns and tans now. So I'm looking for some Americanas still, but then I know I did get some olive eggers and some Easter eggers. So
nice.
I hope to get some more variety.
You'll definitely get some colored eggers for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. The colored eggs were the ones that started it all for me. That blue egg, when I saw that blue egg, it was over. I was hooked.
So is it just the Americanas that will lay the blue for you? Or do you have another?
I have cream leg bar hens. So they're pure blue layers. I have 4 of them. And then I think there's a couple that lay in my Americanas. I probably have like 10 Americanas. I think a few of them are greens, a few of them are tans, and most of them are blues as well.
Okay. So I need some cream leg bars.
Cream leg bars, Americanas, like a true Americana. And then, I think those are the only 2 that are a true blue layer.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I think there's like another one, but it's I like the colored layers, and I did a little batch of barnyard mixes, so you always kind of know if you have like a colored rooster, all your eggs offsprings will produce a color. So
okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, you're very into breeding. Well,
I love it.
You're not going to breed silkies though anymore, are you? Or no, Polish. They're Polish.
Yeah, I'm going to be cutting off on Polish. Polish are harder. They're definitely harder, and I've had some heartbreaks, and this winter was hard for me. So I lost my 2 main frizzle roosters. And so it was right when we were getting ready to breed and everything. So I think I'm just going to specialize in silkies and really just put my all into silkies. I love them.
Yeah. Now, do you just have the paints and the whites?
I have I have one silky pen, and it's white paint. Well, it's like 75% paints. There's a couple whites that carry the paint gene. And then I have a couple black hens in there as well. And then there's like 3 splash just because I love them.
Yeah, they are really pretty.
Yeah. They're all broody right now, but every once in a while I'll get some splash out of it. I'm not sure how that happens. Maybe someone said that one of my paints could have like blue in it, blue paint, blue based paint. So paints and splash just kind of my thing.
Yeah, paints are my favorite. They always seem to be the friendliest out of all of them.
Yeah.
Like they seem to be the ones that held, and
I love the paints. They're so cute. And because they're all so unique. For people that don't know, paints are a white silky with different black spots kind of all over it. You can get high patches, low patches, kind of all over their body. It's really fun and unique.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah. So you also have goats, right?
Yes, we have 4 goats. We have 2 Nigerian dwarfs and 2 fainting goats. So, which that again happened sporadically.
Right.
So, we wanted to get into, like, I don't know, we have 5 acres here, so we wanted something else. And I had talked about getting goats, and my husband was like, no, you don't need any goats. And I was like, well, I kind of need goats. And then I had talked myself out of it because I thought trimming their hooves was going to be like this big ordeal, and I was kind of intimidated by it. So he finally came in the one day and he was like, fine, you can get goats. So I immediately got on, and I got 2 fainting goats and 2 Nigerian dwarfs. And he was like, just 2 though, just get 2. And I was like, okay. So I did. I was like, okay, like I can't do this again to him. So I'm like, I narrowed it down to just the 2, 1 fainting and 1 Nigerian dwarf. And then, so we picked up the fainting goat, Hank, first, and he stayed inside with us for like 3 days until we drove down to Columbus to get the other one. So my husband was, of course, in love with him. Like, he cuddled on the couch with him and took naps with him. And then we drove down to Columbus to get the other one, the girl, and the brother of the girl would not leave me alone. Like, he was up, he wanted held constantly. And the breeder was like, we're moving and he's not sold yet. So if you want him for like a really big discounted price, like, I'll sell him to you. And I was like, it's up to him. And my husband just looked at me and he was like, fine. So then we had 3. And then I felt bad because Hank kept fainting by himself. And then Millie and Freddie were just trotting along, and then Hank would fall over. And I'm like, oh, he needs somebody else to faint with. So then I drove up like to by Geneva, like all these wineries up there one day. And I was like looking at Facebook, and there was a guy selling 2 fainting goats. So I got one of those. So Hank has a buddy to faint with now.
That's adorable. I love that story.
Yes, I do love the goats. I didn't think that I was going to like madly fall in love with them as much as I have, but they're very dog-like and cuddly and personable, and like they're out in my yard right now. Like, I don't need to watch them. They'll come to the door when they want in, and I'll take them back to the barn.
Were they bottle baby goats?
No, none of them were bottle babies, which is surprising for how like much they love humans. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I lucked out, I guess.
Yeah, the bottle babies are a lot more like human friendly, and then sometimes we had some babies last year, and then we didn't bottle raise them, and I noticed a difference in their kind of friendliness with humans.
Yeah, I know. You would think that all of these were, but and I kind of wanted a bottle baby, like just because, but I was like, well, I don't have time with, my job. I won't have time to feed it during the day. And then, so right when we got the goats, COVID was going crazy. And so we went remote teaching, and I got the goats like the week before. And I'm like, oh, I could have had a bottle baby because I'm just home all day now. So, but I think that might be why they're so friendly, because they were in the house like almost every day for nap time and then snack time. And so they got a lot of attention young.
Yeah. You probably had a good impression on them.
Yes, I hope so. They're my little babies.
Yeah. I feel like goats are probably like the second kind of intro into like farm world. They're pretty easy to handle. You only have to have a little bit of hay and grain for them.
They're pretty easy. I mean, and the hooves are so easy to trim. Like that should not have been an intimidating factor at all. But
especially if they're like a little like moist, their feet, it just kind of like cuts really easy.
Yeah.
Do you have like a little stand or anything for them, or you just cut them up?
No, my husband scoops them up and turns them, and I cut everything. So it's always an ordeal, but once they're in his lap, they just fall asleep. So they don't really fight too much.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my wife, she used to raise and breed Nigerian dwarfs. I think she had like over 30 or 40 at one point.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
She did
Wow.
4-H with the Nigerians, and she took them to, the Minnesota State Fair, and she took her horses to the state fair. So I
Wow.
definitely married into this life, and
So
I
you
took,
didn't have chickens like before her?
nope. I went from the city life to farm life, and I just really took a real passion for it. I just fell in love with it, fell in love with the animals, and I
Yes.
found my thing with the chickens, I think. So it was a
Yeah.
good, like, kind of in between both of our worlds, so we could
Now,
combine them.
what about the snakes all behind you? Who
Mhm.
started that?
She actually had snakes as well. Our
Okay.
very first time that I spent the night over her house, I didn't know this, and I woke up to some sounds in a little bin, and I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Found out about snakes,
Okay.
and
Okay.
I
And how
took
did you feel about them like at first? Were you like the typical like, ooh,
Yeah,
or
they
were you
were. I was more like just not aware of them. I didn't know too much about them, so it's kind of
yeah,
like that uncertainty. But I
yes,
think they're just kind of like a misunderstood animal,
for sure.
and
Yeah.
once you kind of live with them, and you raise them, they're a lot different than what people think. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Because I'm kind of scared of them too, but like I love lizards and I love frogs. But people also tend to think that about lizards. They're like, oh no,
I
creepy
hate-
crawly. Like, but that's probably how I am with snakes. Like if I were to have one, it would not be
yeah,
nearly as scary.
yeah. When you own animals and you get to know them a lot better than just like a wild snake. Like I would probably even be afraid of like a wild snake because I don't know their temperament or what.
Yeah. And you can kind of like whenever you're with your animals, like you know the like the look in their eyes and like how they're
Energy.
moving, like when something is wrong or off or if they're gonna attack, like even just with the dogs, like you're like, he's gonna bark or they're
Yeah.
gonna do this.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. Yeah. So I fell in love with the snakes kind of with COVID and everything, and we just been raising them and growing our collection and our breeding program as well here. So
Yeah,
um,
that's awesome.
yeah, it's really fun. I love it. Do you
For
have any
sure.
other animals inside? You said you got dogs. Do you have any other animals?
Um, just outside we have the two donkeys. So we have
Oh
two
yeah, you
mini
got
donkeys
donkeys.
in with the goats. Yes, and then that's it. So
Mini
until
donkeys.
yes, I that
How
those
did
were
that go
what
about?
happened. There's a story.
Oh yeah.
So my friend loves horses and she had mini donkeys and I was just kind of ready for the next phase in animal life. So I'm
Yep.
like, okay, I got the chickens down, I got the goats down. Like, what else can we do? Like, how else can I make my husband mad today? So I told him, well, that morning I ran a 5K, and then my friend was like, hey, there's an auction, like a mini uh, horse and donkey auction or something in Worcester. And I was like, oh, well, that's only an hour. And I was like, I kind of want to go just to see. So I just have a little car, like just a little sedan.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, we'll go there. She's like, do you want me to bring my trailer, my horse trailer? Because she has a pickup truck. And I was like, no, like I'm definitely not going to get anything. I'm not ready. I didn't have my barn at the time. I just had an 8x10 shed, and that's what the goats are living in. So, and it was probably this time of the year. It was maybe May. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to run this race and then I'll drive to Worcester and I'll meet you there. So we drive there and we're like watching the auction and we're going through and like looking at everything that's for sale. And I saw my mini mule, who I don't have him anymore. I'll tell that story in a second. But so I saw my mini mule there, Benny, and I was like, oh my gosh, what
Mm,
is that? Because
yeah.
he was just this ball of white fluff. He was so tiny, like he was a baby still. But his paperwork said he was 2 years old and he was gelded. And my friend was like, well, that's good. Like, you want him to be gelded so that you don't have to pay that. So he went out on the auction thing and nobody was bidding on him. So I was like, oh, me, I want him. I want him. She's like, Dana, how are you going to get him home? And I was like, he will definitely fit in my back seat. Like, don't worry about it.
Oh my God.
So then we're like still watching. And I'm just like, the adrenaline is going. Like, I've never bid on an animal before, let alone win one. So I'm like, okay, let's keep this ball rolling. So the other mini donkey comes out, and he was a jack, so nobody really wanted him unless they were going to breed him. So he, like, nobody was bidding on him. So I was like, me, I want him. She's like, Dana, well, how are we going to get him home? I'm like, he's going to ride in the back seat of your truck. So I paid, and then we took him out and we shoved Benny in my back seat, and he fit perfectly fine. And then we shoved Jack in her back seat, and people were just standing there like taking pictures and videos, and they're like, look at these two, probably like, look at these two idiot girls. But it was funny. So I called my husband on the way home. I FaceTimed him, and he's like, what is in your back seat? I was like, this is Benny. He's like, oh my gosh. So he's like, what are you going to do with Benny? And I was like, well, he's going to be friends with Jack. And he's like, who is Jack? And I was like, that's the donkey that's in the back of Shannon's truck. So yeah, those were the two mini donkeys. And then we just got another one, Clyde, he's like a little chocolate mini donkey. And he's super tiny, like super, super tiny. But he just turned a year old last month. So we had 3, and then Benny, the mule, he got very big, not very big, but big for me. And he was kicking a lot. I got him gelded, but he was kicking a lot. And he was bored, basically. So he was like chasing the chickens and biting the goats. And he needed a home that could train him, that had some background in training, and that he was more horse-like than donkey. Like the donkeys are just so docile and calm. And so I felt good about the home that he is in now. And she sends videos all the time, and he's learning, and he's learning patience. And he's actually with this other horse that's like a Clydesdale size. Don't quote me. I don't know what breed it is.
Yep.
He chases that horse around, and he bites the legs, and he jumps on it. And I'm like, oh boy, you have low man syndrome there. So, yeah. But it's okay. I feel really good about the decision now, even though I was like a convulsing, sobbing mess for like a week whenever I knew he was going to be at a different home, just because I felt horrible about like even making that decision, because I'm always very against rehoming things. Yeah. But it was a good decision for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's like really responsible of you to like recognize that, you know, you didn't have the capabilities of keeping it properly and just providing the best home, you know, even though it went against kind of like your morals, but I think it was probably the best decision.
Yeah, I think it was. And now that like I see where he's at and I see his training and his progress, I'm like, I could have never done this unless I paid somebody, which I did pay somebody to come out, and he drug her through the yard too. So he needed like an actual person, a horse person, I call them, because I'm not a horse person, but he needed somebody who knew what they were doing.
Definitely. Yeah. We when we first got our place, we actually adopted a rescue horse, and very similar to your story, we just didn't have the right ability. He was 2 years old and he was not broke, and we thought that we could handle it, but it just ended up being a lot worse than what we thought. We tried our best, and we really went back and forth. We're like, we didn't want to do it, but we had to rehome him. And we did videos too, and he's doing so good. He won like a competition and everything, and it was just really cool to see. I'm like, see, like it went to a great positive place where we couldn't provide that, unfortunately.
Yes. So. Yeah.
And then the horse that we got in between she's perfect. She eats a lot, but she's a great horse. She's really laid back.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Some of us like to eat a little more than others.
All day. She's a fatty.
Hey, that's okay. At least she's a good fit now.
Yeah. So it went from chickens to goats, mini donkeys. Do you have anything else? Is that it?
No, I don't have anything else, but I have been researching and reading and anything possible about emu. I've wanted emu for like 3 years, which I know is not a crazy long amount of time, but you know, that it's a big thing. Like they would probably be the neediest out of all of the animals I have. And a responsible owner would have at least like a 6 foot tall fence and a big area for them. Like Sometimes I see people with like these little fenced in areas and I feel bad. Like I think they treat their animals well, but all they can provide for them is a small area. And I feel like the emus need the most space out of the donkeys, the goats, like everybody. Like they like to run.
Yep.
So we do have an area that I could fence in. But I'm not mentally ready, I guess, for that big like undertaking. But I really, really, really would like some emu. So maybe like down the road at some point. But I think that would probably be my next thing. But I feel content now with what I have. So
yeah, emus, like they are a bird still, but they're not a bird. Like they are like a full animal.
Yes.
You really have to have the mental capability to take on like a horse like animal.
Yeah, I know. And then like you see what's her name?
Was it the lady that does like
farm?
Yeah.
With Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley.
I forget. I don't know. One of them, is it Karen? Did she name her Karen? The mean one? There's
Yeah, she goes like that and she
growls at her.
I know. That's when I was like realizing they're not like that easy. They're wild animals almost.
Yeah, but everybody says like, which is odd, being chicken people, roosters are usually mean or aggressive. Everybody that has emu says the boys are the nice ones.
Oh,
like
nice.
You should get boys.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Then have you seen the blonde ones, the blonde emus?
Yes.
Yeah, they're cute.
They're very cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their eggs are beautiful.
I know, their eggs look like dinosaur eggs. They're giant.
Yeah, and just the color green. I was looking on some website and people were like hollowing them out and just selling shell for like $50 each, and people were buying them, and I'm like, I don't just want an empty shell, but they are gorgeous.
Yeah, they're really cool. That would be fun. Yeah, I've heard they're a lot more responsibility, and they can sometimes turn on you.
I know, and I think that that's part of like why my husband especially doesn't want them, because he's like, if that thing kicks you, like you're down. You are down.
You gotta be able to have someone to get up there quick.
Yeah, I know, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll ever actually have them, but it's always kind of on the list. We all have a list of things.
Would you ever like consider turkeys, guineas, peacocks, ducks, anything like that?
Yeah. So ducks, no. They're adorable. I absolutely, they are adorable. But my neighbor has ducks, and they went out of town, and a snapping turtle bit the foot of one of their ducks. So when they went out of town, they're like, hey, can you watch our duck? Like, he'll be fine, just like in with the chickens. And he was a baby, like he was not very, very old. So actually, this was when I didn't have the free range chickens, because I remember being scared about him being with the chickens. So this was, the Silkies were locked up. So he was in with the goats, and I had to change his bandage every day on his foot, and feed him and have his water there. And he was the messiest animal I've ever experienced in my life. I'm like, I can't do this. There's no way I'll ever be able to have ducks because he's so messy. So I talked myself out of the ducks, even though I like to look at them from afar. But turkeys, I don't know if I'll ever have turkeys. Peacocks, I would love, but I would need like a very high roosting place for them. But guineas, I do want some guineas. I just feel bad. Are your guineas really loud?
They are loud. Yes, I won't lie. Yeah, they're loud.
Yeah. And that's what I feel bad about, because we have the smallest plot of land on like our little gravel lane with 5 acres, but the road that is behind our house, those are all like kind of close houses. So between the chickens and the donkeys and our dogs barking, I'm like, would that be mean if I added guineas?
I know. Yeah, we started with I had 4, and I like them. I actually really enjoyed them. They're good. They only really like are loud when they, I don't know, sense like weird stuff going on. They're very aware. Yeah, I do like that. whenever I hear them freaking out, I run out there. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Hawk or something.
Yeah.
I like that about them a lot. I don't really have actually too much to complain about besides the sound. That's the only negative.
I know. I think
they're really cool.
They are really cool, and yours are really pretty too. Or is it called pied?
Yeah, I have some pied ones, and then just the pearl. I think they just like the pearl, like the main one.
Yeah,
we had 4, and the two were lost by a fox, and then now the 2 kind of don't really. They don't make that much sound anymore. They just roam with the chickens.
Okay.
But
do they sleep with the chickens?
Yep. They sleep with them, and they eat food with them, and they live completely with them.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I need to visit somewhere that has them and just like
2 to 4. 2 to 4 is like a perfect amount. Like once you get they're really good groups. Like they could grow like with 12 and 20 of them. Then they get really loud. So 2 to 4 is perfect.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. I feel like I could maybe sneak a couple into the yard.
It's all about sneaking them in,
I know.
We're already this far into it, we might as well just keep adding the animals.
That's how I feel. Yeah. I mean, they already stress me out, so why not add more? Yeah. But it would stress me out if I didn't have them too. Like I would need something to de-stress me from work. So
100%. Yeah.
I don't know. It's like this vicious cycle of stress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to stop.
Yeah. Do your goats and donkeys live together?
Yes, everybody. So back in my pasture area, I have my barn. Goats have like a little loft area, and the donkeys, I was going to stall them, but they're fine. Like they just kind of come in and out. So everybody lives together. Everybody gets along. And then behind the barn, I have 2 chicken coops, a smaller one, and then we converted my hay shed into a chicken coop. So that's where all of the chickens are, that free range. So they have automatic doors, and so I really don't even need to go out there in the morning, but I do because I'm crazy and I just like to check on everybody.
Yeah, right.
But, yeah,
here's your page. So everyone, if you're not already, please give her a follow so she can beat me to 50,000.
I know. What am I at now?
36.8. I swear you jumped up a bunch since we just last talked.
Yeah. So that's why I feel like TikTok was spying on me, because we were talking about that, and I think I got, which is not a lot, but I got like 50 new followers or something like that night. And I was like, what?
Right.
And I didn't even post anything that was like great.
Yeah. TikTok, it's hard to like figure out the algorithm, but I really don't do it for the views or anything like that. I love to have fun with it, and it doesn't stress me if I get low views. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I feel like just randomly something will take off, and then like, most of the stuff that doesn't take off though, it's just for fun. But it's like the things that do take off, like the nugget video, I'm like, listen guys, I cannot provide this kind of content on the daily for you.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Here's some poop tips, like here's me lip syncing to something.
Yeah, I know. It's like a good little mix of it all works out.
Yes, it does. It's fun.
It's kind of like a journal of like our homesteading and chicken life. It's really fun to.
Yeah.
I'm always like, if I passed away one day, I'm gonna have so many videos of me doing stupid random things on TikTok.
So many. And I mean, if you were to open my drafts, I mean, there's some weird stuff in there. Not like weird, but like people would be like, what is this? I almost wish though, like when I started actually gaining followers and making like informative videos, I wish I would have put like the text on the screen. So like when you're scrolling through the page, you can see what each video is about.
Yeah.
I call myself a boomer. Sometimes I just don't understand technology, but I just figured out how to do that. And now I'm like, well, it's too late now.
Yeah.
So, but I really like when people have like the titles on their videos whenever you go to their page, so you know exactly what the video is about.
Oh yeah. You're talking about like when you press like next and then you can put like a little thumbnail on it.
Yeah. It's like black with white writing. pink and teal around it, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
traditional. Well, I guess you could make it whatever color you want, but yeah, that thing. I would have started doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely handy if you're like looking for a video you can't find or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Because there's some people's pages I follow, and I'm like, no, I didn't save that. So I'm just like scrolling and scrolling and trying to figure out how their face was
Yeah.
when they made that video. Like, is this it?
Yeah.
Is this? So
You got
I
any
don't know.
goals? Do you have any goals for social media, or just kind of having fun with it?
Yeah, I'm just kind of having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to do more with it, definitely, but I don't know. Like, I don't know how. I mean, I guess it's just about followers and stuff, but I just don't know like how people make a living off of it. And I know it's possible, but I just don't understand.
Yeah.
But it would be great. But then I'm almost like, well, I wonder if they're working even more than they were before because they have to go to things and they have to make things and then they're editing and I'm like, well, I don't even know if I would like that. Like I just want to stay at home and do nothing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your goals for social media?
I mean, I would love to do this full time. I mean, with the animals and social media, I really found my passion and the combination of both. Just been growing a great following, and whatever works out, works out. But I'm having a great time and really enjoying my life right now. So I'm so happy and so thankful.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's
This
hard to like.
Fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I really started this podcast because there's only so much to TikTok videos. You know, you learn about people, but I really wanted to connect more. I love talking. I love talking chickens. So this was like a perfect outlet just to keep continuing that and really, connect with some more people that I look up to. And you were definitely on that top list. I'm like, I gotta get her top 5.
Yay. That's so fun. And you know what? This is nice too because not only is it informative, you get to know people, but there's not a lot of chicken podcasts. Like whenever I'm going on a drive, like there's a couple, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but I have them on my playlist.
Yep.
And it's either like those two or another murder podcast, which is the only other podcast I listen to. So like there's not a lot of options for us crazy chicken people.
Exactly. Yep. I'm going to be pushing out all my audio onto Spotify. That's coming up. I've been working on that. It's another little process, but it's going to be on next because I listen to all my podcasts on Spotify. So I'd love to put mine onto Spotify as well. But I think Wilma the Wonderful Hen, she does a podcast and she's on Spotify as well. She's great. She's a chicken lady.
Okay. I'm going to have to download Spotify. I don't have it. I either listen to Pandora or I use the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. Right now it's on YouTube. Right now this is just going on YouTube, but eventually in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to get this onto more platforms so we can get the audio version as well.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's been really fun. And I'm just looking forward to growing and helping other people grow as well. You know, if I can help someone else grow, get some more followers for you, and we learn some more stuff and win-win.
From the beginning.
Good. I'm glad, and I appreciate the friendship, and I'll be right here supporting along the whole side.
Yay! Me too. I'm excited for you.
Yeah. We're gonna do good, and I'll be glad to say that I was there from the beginning for you.
Yes, definitely.
When you're at the top.
My first chicken friend.
Right. Yeah, it's been really great. So, but it's been great connecting with you, and I'm so glad we got to finally connect and do this and chat a little bit. You got a great page, and just keep up the good work, and I'm sure we'll see you doing great things.
All right. Well, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you soon. All right.
Yes, I'll post some videos.
Yes, post videos every day. I want you posted 2 videos a day.
I know.
I'm here supporting you. All right.
I know. I'm gonna go do it right now.
All right. Hang out in the green room, and I'll finish this up, and we'll catch up.
Okay.
One moment. All right. Thank you guys so much. It's been great doing this podcast. I'm hoping to just build a great community behind this. Thank you guys so much. If you have any suggestions, any positive, constructive criticism, go ahead, shoot it my way. I could take it. I'm fine. Just thank you guys so much. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. Thank you guys.